It's a Tuesday that feels like a Monday, and the Rangers have an opportunity to keep their streak of winning series alive. There's a chance? Yeah. You're saying there's a chance? Yes, there is a chance. We'll tell you how as we get you set for Game 2 against the Yankees tonight. It's the DLLS Rangers podcast. It's a good question. One step forward for Jack Leiter. We got to talk about that now as we talk Rangers baseball like we do each and every day here on the DLLS Rangers podcast. I'm John Radigan with Abby Jones and the star of our program, Jeff Wilson. And it was look,
star.
No, you're the
Come
star.
on, baby.
Oh, you got star power. We got star
You
power.
are coming
written.
out of your shell a weekend. I'm very proud of you, Jeff.
Well, thank you very much. It's been a lot of fun.
Star power written all
didn't know I had it
over
in
you.
me. Yeah.
How about the case of the Mondays, though, man? I'm just like, it's rainy.
It's Tuesday.
It's Tuesday.
I know. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. That's the thing that's weird.
I was at a baseball game last night watching
Yeah.
the Rangers play the Yankees.
So you
my
knew it
Monday
was a Monday.
My Monday was pretty good.
You guys knew it was a Monday. I didn't. I just knew it was a day.
Yeah.
And I was hanging out and then watching Rangers baseball at night and impressed, Jeff, by what I saw, particularly, obviously, in the first 5 innings from Jack Leiter. I just thought that these were, at least one step forward relative to how he's looked at in his previous major league starts.
Yeah, I think it was 10 or 15 steps forward. I mean,
Yeah.
it wasn't very good. The first 3 times, the first one, the first 2, there were some defensive plays that could have been made that would have helped him out. Third one was awful. This one in Chicago was better. This one was great. You can look at a couple things. One, he pitched deeper into the game than he ever had. He didn't walk anybody.
Right.
I think that tells you a lot. That tells you that he trusted the game plan. He trusted his stuff. He wasn't intimidated by
the names.
that Yankees lineup. Juan Soto, Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton. He struck out Judge and Stanton. Those were his 2 strikeouts. So if you're going to strike out 2 guys,
Right.
hey,
Yeah.
that's pretty good.
Yeah.
He gave up a hit to his buddy Anthony Volpe from high school, and then Volpe almost got him for a home run.
Ooh.
But no, it was good. And pitching into the 6th inning, I know some people have moaned about that, and maybe we're going to talk about it in a little bit. But I have no problem with him keeping going. The team needed it, and he needed it.
Yep.
He needed it.
Yeah, he needs to learn.
Yep.
And
That's part of the process.
You can't,
That's your 3rd time through, right?
You can't learn until you do it.
Yep.
And even he afterwards had no qualms with the idea that he, in fact, said it was a dream scenario. Mm-hmm. Going into the 6th against Garrett Cole, Aaron Judge in the batter's box. He just didn't make a pitch.
Yep.
Yeah. And, it's important. We were talking about his execution,
Yeah.
and that's like the number one thing here to consider, because you would have really enjoyed for the Rangers to win this game, just for him to feel good about the start through and through. But, he went through this lineup 3 times, which is incredibly impressive when, you weren't even sure if he was ready for this step. I feel like Jack really rose to the occasion. Pressure makes diamonds. Maybe that's a little bit of what we're seeing. 2 things to note on the strikeout, Jeff. Stanton and Judge, like you said, one came on a fastball, which we know that he's, known for, but another was a curveball, which is something Jack is very fastball slider heavy. His came on with Judge. It was the 3rd big scenario there. It was 2-2. And Jack and I talked about this after the game, because it was like, I feel like this is an instance where you put, what you've been preached at into practice, where Mike Maddox is always saying, trust your stuff. If you look at the numbers, statistically speaking, on a 2-2 count, Judge is only hitting 133 on the curveball. So for Jonah Heim, Jack Leiter to collectively agree to make that call, throw that pitch, something that he only throws 10% of the time, and strike out the undoubtable American League MVP. I mean, pitch selection there was amazing. Execution there was amazing. Used a lot of his pitches, forcing fastball 52% of the time, slider 32%. Curveball 11, changeup 3. So he's not just a 2-pitch guy.
No,
that was a big thing.
That that stat that you threw out, that he doesn't throw the curveball in that situation, becomes a genius call by them, because guess who else isn't expecting him to throw it?
Aaron Judge.
Right? Yeah. Aaron Judge is. He's like, oh, he never throws a curveball here.
Right, like
I'm sitting fastball, right?
Yeah, and so he was expecting it. And I
Yeah.
talked to Leiter. I said, was that a you call? Was that a Heim call? And he said, it's funny. We're working on that relationship because that is so important on, who calls the game. But he said he told me to throw it 2 pitches earlier, and I wasn't ready.
Yeah.
And so this was the moment. But huge one under your belt for Jack Leiter. And I thought that might be his pivotal moment where Cody Bradford was sharing he felt like he could trust his stuff. Like, for me, that was the moment that Jack Leiter could trust his stuff as a major league pitcher.
Yeah,
I was impressed.
Could be.
And he also has a cutter that he'll throw occasionally. His first spring start, I think he threw 5 different pitches in the first inning. So he's got it. He knows he can use them when he needs to. But Mike Maddox lived with the fastball, commanded the fastball, and then that just sets everything else up. And I just can't say enough about it. I thought it was really good.
Yeah.
I know the final line doesn't look good, 5 runs, but
Right.
The box score watchers will have their words.
I just don't.
He
pitched way better than that.
And you see there, and it's actually 5 runs and 5 earned runs, but he his ERA is still over 10, right? So if you're just looking at it, you're like, oh my God, he's off to a terrible start as a big leaguer. No, he's not. I mean, he's making strides each and every time. And you mentioned that conversation we were having before we started about execution. It's one of the things I love most about his post-game comments, right? He said, this is the best execution I've had at this level. Up here is the way they say it. At this level, that's the best execution that I've had. And so, that is a nuance that we don't necessarily see. It means he was executing the game plan, right? And it means he was executing his pitches, and that's huge. And again,
almost better than Garrett Cole, might I add. At one point in the game, if you look, did you check the box out?
Well, I know that just kind of off the top of my head, Jack Leiter had 18 pitches after 2 innings, and Garrett Cole had 21 pitches in the first. So if
I think he finished the first. Leiter finished with 9.
9 in each of his first 2 innings, and really to get out of the third the way he did, with getting Soto and Judge to after Gleyber Torres' RBI double, 2-run double, I guess, but. The guy pitched and looked great, and everybody should be encouraged.
And 9 swings, 39 misses. So
and
that's a big number too.
The 16 pitches per inning average, it's like 5 less than he's averaged per inning at the big league level to this point. It was actually more than 5, because he was like at 21.9 per inning, and he only averaged 16 per inning. I think that's huge because, again, pitch selection, to your point, and pitch execution. Those 2 things are so important. And Jeff, you talked about him going into the 6th. And yes, I mean, in the perfect world, maybe the Rangers have a lead there and they have a fresh bullpen and they can just let him go right off, and feel 100% good about everything that happened. And I love that you asked Boch this question, because the answer needed to be out there. Jeff asked Bruce Bochy in the postgame, what about putting him out there in the 6th inning? And Boch goes, I don't know if you've noticed, but our bullpen's a little depleted right now. And of course, Jeff knew that was probably the answer coming. Sometimes you ask a question you know the answer to, just because there are other people who are covering the team and in the room that need to hear it.
Well, and the other part of the answer was, we're not gonna baby this guy. This is a guy who's been around baseball his whole life. Yes, his dad was a pitcher, but so was his uncle, and his cousin is in the opposite clubhouse right now pitching for the Yankees. So it's a baseball family. Bochy said, this guy's not going to be in awe of anything. So, his confidence wasn't shattered because he left in the 6th inning and gave up all those runs or was charged with those runs. He didn't go drink a bottle of Jack Daniels last night.
Right.
He was in a great mood. He was very confident and excited after the game. I mean, subdued because it's a losing clubhouse, but still, he took a lot of positives from this. He was not hanging his head. If anything, he will have more confidence when he pitches again this weekend against the Angels.
And another thing to point out, too, is, we talked about watching Leiter, especially in the first few innings. It's a lot of energy on the mound. And he said he made a really conscious effort to control his emotions, slow the game down a little bit. And I think that played out absolutely to his advantage. If the mental side is something that he can lock down, which I think he's really capable of doing, that was a great start and night and day difference of what we've seen before. So if Jack Leiter rises to the occasions, fine by me.
Wasn't it an 8-pitch first inning?
Nine.
Yeah. No, I mean, under 10 pitches in the first inning.
He threw 29 or 30 in his first inning against the White Sox.
Yeah.
And Gleyber Torres, kind of a hard grounder through the left side. Soto hit a hard ground ball that turned into a double play, and then Judge hit a rope to the wall at 111 miles an hour. All right, so he gets out of the inning. Maybe he's fortunate that he did, but it was still 3 batters, 9 pitches. Next inning looked great. Mowed through him pretty quickly, no hard contact. So, these guys are it's good stuff, but these guys are learning all pitchers get lucky and all pitchers get unlucky. I mean, the first hit in the 6th, like Torres, it didn't go 90 feet.
No.
And it turned into an infield hit that kind of started the unraveling. But no, I just think it's fine. I was fine with him going into the 6th. His confidence not shot. If anything, his confidence is probably the highest it's ever been.
I agree.
And should be. Opposite side or end of the sort of experience spectrum as the Rangers send Andrew Heaney to the mound against the Yankees tonight. And he's a guy, Jeff, we know him well enough. He's a guy who loves a challenge like this.
Yeah, and, he's kind of been a little surly after his starts. I think he understands that he's pitched better than what his record indicates. I mean, this guy's got 13 or 14 losses, and his ERA is right at 4. Right at 4. I mean, that's crazy.
His last win was July 21st.
You would look at a guy with 13 losses and be like, oh, he must have a 7 ERA.
Yeah.
He doesn't. He's been in every game. The Rangers don't. Not every game, but a lot of games the Rangers don't score any runs for him.
No offensive help.
And so he's going to be a free agent. So you don't want to go into your walk year with that number hanging on you, I don't think. But he pitched well against the Yankees in New York last month, and he's got that invisible fastball that it's only 91, 92, but it's hard to hit. He gets a lot of strikeouts with it. I mean, he's going to give the Rangers a chance to win. I mean, that's just what the numbers showed.
Yeah, that's what he's done every start.
I have 2 stats that I would like to bring to the attention.
Love them.
Are you guys ready? Because it's shocking.
Okay.
Aaron Judge is looking to avoid matching his longest homerless streak drought in 8 games this season.
This year.
So that means Aaron Judge has
every
hit a
7
home run.
games.
Yes.
At least.
That's
he hits a home
that's
run.
number 1, which is disgusting.
Yeah, but that's Andrew Heaney's challenge now, and I love that. That'll challenge him.
And then his buddy Soto, one of his goals was to homer in every single park this season. He's almost to 30. He's 2 away. Guess which 2 are remaining?
I'm going to say Globe Life Field.
Number 1.
There you go.
Where else haven't they played?
The Yankees are heading. The Yankees are heading out to Seattle.
Okay,
there you
go.
T-Mobile. There you go.
I mean, those are
that's pretty impressive.
Which I did do a little deep dive, and Soto, Judge, Stanton, they have more home runs combined than the entire White Sox.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw you put that on X last night. I
mean,
love
they're
that.
a team themselves. That's hilarious. But every 8 games, a home run.
Crazy.
And then
it is crazy.
All 30 parks, it's disgusting work.
Well, it won't be all 30 parks because they don't go to every park, but every park they've been to.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Finish his list. Homering.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, I mean, again, obviously you don't go to all of them.
Yeah.
But a lot of them you go to, you only get 3 shots at, right?
Yeah.
Like here.
Sometimes 2.
Yeah, sometimes 2.
That is a good point.
Yeah, you got to homer quick. Yeah.
I got to thank
Lord.
Ultra Cowboy for all the comments he's had so far. I've seen him.
Yeah, I love it.
I like Rory Sasaki.
Subscribe,
Yep.
ask
Rory
us
Sasaki
questions.
is the one I'd like this offseason.
Yeah, that'd be a really nice one. And that you were explaining the other day, the post price isn't nearly as high
Right,
because
right.
he's still in the international market.
Right.
Yeah.
So
So that's good. We'd love that, and we love Ultra Cowboy. We thank you. Hey, just like us. Will you please smash that like button and the subscribe too, and join in the conversation at any point during the show. We're going to be on noon a bunch of days this week, and we are also going to be on a pregame and a postgame tomorrow for the finale of that Rangers series against the Yankees. So hopefully we'll be talking in the pregame show about the Rangers having a chance to win another series. Of course, they won the series by winning the final 2 games against Oakland. They had swept the White Sox, so they're rolling a little bit right now. They've ever since we talked about this, Jeff.
Don't
Ever
let
since
the
we've gone
Rangers
on
get
the
hot.
air,
Yeah.
they're 9-5 since we've gone on the air. That's a pretty good record.
Road
I'll
to
take it.
81.
yeah,
We're
drive
still
to
working.
81.
Yeah,
We're
we're
working
still
on
trying.
You know, we need to make that a shirt.
it.
Maybe.
Should.
I think we know a guy.
Yeah, drive to 81. I like it.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we don't want that to be the goal next year. We
No.
don't-
Oh, no.
The shirt doesn't have much
Oh,
shelf
no.
life, does it? Yeah, doesn't have enough shelf life, I don't think, for these shirt manufacturers. But fantastic that Leiter did what he did last night. Fantastic that the Rangers now send their 2 most experienced pitchers to conclude this series. That's Andrew Heaney, their most experienced on the roster, in the rotation right now.
Healthy.
Yeah, and healthy. Andrew Heaney and, of course, Nathan Eovaldi tomorrow, who is no stranger to these Yankees. So those are some of the things we'll be talking about over the course of the next couple of days. We appreciate you joining us here on the DLLS Rangers podcast. And coming up, we are going to talk lots more about what's happening with this team currently offensively, and we'll get to that in just a moment. But first, we want to remind you that if you need to hire, you need Indeed. It's just that simple. I mean, Indeed is unbelievable. They don't really do a search, they do a match, right? They're not worried about searching.
The perfect match.
It's the perfect match. And what they're doing is they're going out there and they're finding that qualified candidate for you to, guess what? Take a bunch of busy work off your plate. Now, I have not hired that many people. I've fired a lot. None of them have ever had to leave their job.
Do you go
but
with,
I
like,
see
the
somebody
"you're
messing
fired"?
up at a job, and I'm like, "You're fired," and they're like, "Yeah, thanks anyway. We'll see you later, dude. Get out of here, you grumpy old man." But anyway, if you need to hire, you need Indeed, and if you use our Indeed right now, if you go to Indeed.com/AllCity, you get a $75 sponsored job credit. Now, what this is a chance for the job that you are posting to have much higher visibility. So it's a really good thing because you want that job to be seen by the absolute best candidates. That's what Indeed provides, the best candidates. So all you have to do is go to Indeed.com/AllCity, get that $75 credit, and you'll be hiring the best people there are out there. All you need is Indeed.
I mean, if you think about it, we're kind of the gift that keeps on giving. We just
Yeah.
have so many offers.
Right.
Exclusive offers.
Absolutely.
Which brings me to this one. Have you guys ever had a fun night out with the fellas? Or Radigan on the course?
Yep.
Or
It's happened.
You don't like
Yep,
to fish?
it'll happen.
I like to fish.
You like to fish?
Oh, yeah.
Well, fellas, I know what you need. It is Z-Biotics. Have you heard of it?
No.
Z-Biotics is a very new thing. We got so much technology now. They have a pre-alcohol option for you.
Okay.
So that you don't have to pick between a good night or a good morning. You can simply have both.
So I just
Yeah.
drink one of these before I drink anything else.
I reckon you just down the hatch and
Bam.
then, yeah.
Boom.
So it's the world's first genetically engineered probiotic. It was invented by a PhD scientist way smarter than me that tackles the rough mornings after drinking. When you drink, the alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct in the gut. This byproduct is what drains like your dehydration. Look at me. Do I sound smart?
Yeah.
Oh,
do.
right. I
You do.
feel like I can teach
Do you have a
class on
PhD?
this.
Are you one of these PhD people?
Oh, Lord, I barely got my degree. Thanks to Spanish. But that's another conversation. So anyway, pre-alcohol produces an enzyme to break down the byproduct. So, yeah, you just need one of these little buddies. You can go to a wedding. You can watch a big game. Go on the golf course.
Yep.
All the things. We've got a code for you, 15% off. And DLLS Rangers, like I said, we're the gift that keeps giving. DLLS Rangers for 15% off. So, Z-Biotics needs to be in your bag.
Yeah, it definitely does.
Just checking out their website. It's pretty interesting.
Is it?
Yeah. It tells,
Okay.
you, tells you what it does.
All right, beautiful.
Did
yeah.
you not like my rundown?
I mean,
I felt solid about it.
It reinforces what Abby had to say.
Yeah,
Excuse
it's awesome.
me.
Yeah, and it's it really is cutting edge technology. So get yourself some Z-Biotics. Make your first drink a Z-Biotic. Now let's talk about some of the offense. Not just last night, Jeff. And there was, I mean, the Rangers when they score 4-4 is like a great milestone this year, right?
This year.
If they get to 4, they're going to win, and that's been the case for much of this year. It wasn't the case, obviously, last night, but overall, I love what we're seeing from some of the young guys in a situation that is, pitchers adjusting to them adjusting to pitchers, pitchers readjusting to them, and we're seeing the fruits of some really hard work, lack of a better word, hard work from the likes of Wyatt Langford and Josh Smith and
MLB young boy.
Yeah, how about that?
Josh Young.
Our young gun, Josh Young. And maybe we start with Smith just because, he started the season so well.
Right.
And then right after the All-Star break, he had a bit of a lull, quite a lull.
Do you guys?
But that was the adjustment period. That was the pitchers adjusting to him. And now look what Josh is doing. He's made the adjustment back. That's the biggest key. That's the key to staying in Major League Baseball.
Well, I was going to say, I think he got snubbed on the All-Star selection.
Yeah,
So do you think that played into it a little bit? Because I'm just saying his confidence, this is the first year of his confidence, I believe. So, just slightly.
Yeah, I think that if he were to sit down and he understands. He wasn't a guy he's not a guy at third base. He's when Rangers when people think of the Texas Rangers in third base, it's not Josh Smith. So maybe that affected him on the balloting, but his numbers were really good among the AL third basemen and really deserving of being an All-Star. I don't think that affected him. I just think he was dealing with some soreness that cost him some games. Maybe in June when they were playing the Dodgers, that might have slowed him a little bit, but. This is his first full season. I know he's on the roster all last season, but he didn't play. This is the first time that he's played every day, and it's hard, and he's never played this much baseball in his life. And same goes for Wyatt Langford. So getting through the grind, you hear players talk about the grind. Well, it's a legitimate thing. Playing every day is not easy.
Yeah.
Playing the a day game after a night game is not easy at all. And those are just things that these have to learn and take care of their bodies and things like that. And so, but hats off to Josh for making an adjustment in his swing in the off season, because he wasn't happy with his numbers last year, nor should he have been. But
it's like $150.
But I just really think that any major league player who gets regular at bats is going to be okay.
Yeah.
And they might hit a wall, they might get exposed, but. He's been good enough to make an adjustment.
Yeah.
And so, hats off to him. I don't think he's the team MVP. He's the team unsung hero.
Unsung hero, for
I
sure.
think Seager will be the team MVP.
Yeah.
His numbers are ridiculous.
Well, and it's one of the reasons too, Jeff, that young players aren't the best candidates to be that classic utility guy, right?
Right.
Because of that need that you referenced, that need for regular
Reps.
ABs. If you don't get them, if you don't get regular playing time, it's very difficult to get into that rhythm. There are guys who have accomplished it, but that's what was so hard about Josh Smith last year.
Right, and because it was Ezekiel Duran who got the playing time and took off, but then when Duran's playing time went away, he started to struggle a little bit, and now he didn't get the at-bats this year. He had to go to AAA to get straightened down. He's still not getting the at-bats. I think he'll play more in September, but that's why you want Travis Jankowski on your bench, because he doesn't need to play 4 days a week to stay hot. He can, or to keep his swing in a position where he can, at a moment's notice, go in and give a good at bat. He's a veteran. He knows his role. These guys are still young, and they need to see pitching, and they don't have the Rolodex of pitchers that an everyday player does, or even a veteran like Grossman and Jankowski. So it is a real tough job. They're better off getting reps, honestly. And I remember Jurickson Profar, I don't know, it was 2016 or so, 2017. He wasn't playing every day, and he said, "I'd rather be at AAA getting reps because it's going to make me better." And he was still a young major leaguer at the time because he'd missed the 2 years. But they get it. Obviously, they want the big league paycheck. They want somebody carrying their bags for them and all of that stuff. But it's not easy what Josh Smith and Wyatt Langford have had to do this year. And it wouldn't have been easy for Evan Carter either if he hadn't gotten hurt.
No, it wouldn't have. Yeah, and speaking of Langford, so I was having a conversation with Mike Bassick and then Radio Man, our buddy Jared Sandler, the other night about Wyatt Langford versus a guy we saw this weekend, Lawrence Butler, who's going to have a better career. And Bassick, they talked to each other about it at the beginning of the year, and Bassick said unequivocally at that time, it's going to be Wyatt Langford. He's going to have a better career. And now he's hedging his bet a little bit. But the reality is Wyatt Langford, I think, has way more upside, although Butler really looked good this week. But Wyatt Langford is also becoming, again, adjusted to not only this level, but to what the pitchers are doing to him. It's showing in some of the numbers he's put up lately.
Yeah, well, Butler made his MLB debut last year.
Yeah.
Right. So he came into this season with 120 or so at bats. And hey, that's a big deal. That's a big deal.
It is.
123 major league at bats. He maintained his rookie status, great. But Wyatt Langford came into the season with 0 major league at bats. And there's a difference right there for you. There's no pressure in Oakland. I think that's kind of that'll play a role into any player's performance when they don't have to go out there and be expected to carry a World Series champion to another title. Butler played 6 seasons in the minor leagues. 6 seasons.
Wow.
Yeah.
1,675 minor league plate appearances.
Langford didn't play 6 months.
Wyatt Langford had 161 at bats entering this year in the minor league. So there is a difference. It used to be, John, you remember this. Guys never came up with anything less than 1,000 or 1,200 at bats in the minor leagues. It just didn't happen. And now Josh Young came up with 500 and something. Yeah. Wyatt Langford came up with 161. You're putting, and it's not just the Rangers. I mean, it's happening across the game. You're putting a lot on these young players to come up and hit, and be expected to know how to hit. So I just don't. It's a tough road, and even last month when the Rangers played the Pirates for the first time, Wyatt Langford had never faced any of those pitchers.
Right.
He's going in completely blind and having to learn on the fly and make adjustments, and if you only get to see a starter 2 or 3 times, then you bring in a series of relievers. It's hard. Mm-hmm. It really is. So next year he's going to be ahead of the game because he's going to have this built up, all these memories and at bats, and can recall what the stuff's going to do. I think it's a season of survival for him. I don't think he's ever looked completely lost.
No,
but he's also at times just not quite been there. Not getting enough lift on his swing. He hits the ball really, really hard. He has a lot of barrels this season, but they don't go over the fence. Now they've started to go over the fence. But yeah, and he's so fast. He's playing center field now. I wonder if he's not dealing with a couple leg things, as I thought that he should have beat out that ball last night that he hit to third base. Thought he should have stolen a base. There was a scenario where he could have stolen a base against the A's on Sunday that would have been really changed the inning, I thought, in the Rangers' favor. So I just wonder, again, going through the grind. This is more baseball than he's ever played. Yeah. And so he's going to be better off for it. I know the season didn't go the way he wanted or the fans were expecting. He's not going to be the Rookie of the Year, but he's going to be better next year.
And to notice too, my brother is a hitting coach at the JUCO level, and Florida, the program that Wyatt Langford came from, is not something that they have a ton of analytics, and they're almost like, hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, So it's like to take into consideration all of the new technology, all of the new reports that he's getting. It's a lot of information to get, which is maybe why he was so hung up on the home run, why it took so long kind of to have that initial one, but. Yeah, I mean, he's getting in the swing of it, but
he has a very cerebral hitting coach, right?
No.
Which is, I mean, you've got to think way up here and listen way up here to Donnie Ecker. I mean, it's a very different approach. It's worked very well.
Donnie said he's been a sponge too.
Oh, good.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
like he's
that's great.
obsessed with it.
That's great.
So
Yeah.
you're gonna see a lot from Wyatt Langford.
Loves the game, loves talking the game, and we do too. We're going to talk about Josh Young yet because we didn't get to him in this segment, and we're also going to talk about Jacob deGrom. But first, Jeff, what are we going to talk about? Some flooring.
Ever since Empire came on board, I can't get their jingle out of my head.
Are you gonna sing it?
Empire
There you
today. Empire. If you need floors, I mean, God, Empire's been around for years and years and years, and you know what? You can shop at home, convenience of doing that. That's a big deal. And they want to make it simple. You can go to a flooring store. My wife and I did this, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago. Well, we weren't married 20 years ago. We'll say 10.
Okay.
No, we'll say 15.
Okay.
Anyway, we were like, what the heck is this stuff? We had no idea. And now we have wood floors again. Our kids, when they were little, I mean, crap, we let them ride their big wheels. I don't think they had big wheels, but you get the idea. They're little
Scuffed
cars
up.
and stuff.
Yeah.
Damn thing's been beat to hell. And so we need to get new flooring. And I mean, we're going to go to Empire. I mean, they make it simple, and God knows I need simple. They're not going to overwhelm you. The selection's up to you. They're not going to pressure you. They're going to explain what you have now and what that looks like. And if you need to go ahead and upgrade it, you can just take a picture, and you can see what's going to match. I mean, it's wonderful. So going to like a big box store, it's really frustrating because you have people on you and all this stuff. That's not the way Empire rolls. So schedule a free in-home estimate today. All listeners can receive $350 off when they use the promo code DLLS.
Nice.
Flooring's not cheap, so if you can get $350 off, that's a big help. So restrictions apply. See empiretoday.com/DLLS for details.
Yep, that's fantastic. It's a great idea. I'll tell you another great idea is to get your favorite fantasy team, if it's not already there, on Sleeper. Because Sleeper has long been known as just a great platform for fantasy. Anything. Fantasy football is obviously coming up.
Like
the
Jeff
NFL starts this weekend,
baseball.
and everybody's excited about that. Our Cowboy brethren here at DLLS are going crazy as they get ready for the Browns. Everybody's got their team now, but you can still join a fantasy league via Sleeper. But there's so much more to it because you can go in there and you can actually make your wagers on things like, will your favorite or least favorite player live up to what their expectations are? Will the next time that Nathan Eovaldi takes the mound, will he hit 6 strikeouts, more or less? You can make wagers on those types of things, and you will have an opportunity to really stay engaged in a game. It's a really fun way to watch a game and a really fun way to enjoy the game. So that's what we're asking you to do. Go to Sleeper, and you get a $100 match your first time out, if up to $100, if you use the code DLLS Rangers. That lets them know that you heard about it here. We appreciate that very much. It's a $100 first deposit match on Sleeper, and use the code DLLS Rangers.
Mo money, mo problems.
Yeah,
Because I would keep playing.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a good point, but it's free money.
It is free money.
Free money, less problems.
So I'll take it.
Yeah, free money, less problems.
Can I get your $100?
Yeah, sure.
Then it's really
take
Momo money.
Yeah, a lot of more money. So, let's talk first. Let's go back to what we were talking about with the young offensive guys, and that's no pun intended there. This is Josh Young that we're talking about. And, obviously all-star last year. Great year at the plate. It was, the first time he came up to bat in the major leagues, 2 Septembers ago, right around 2 years ago right now. He hits a home run in his very first at bat. The offensive, he had such a high offensive side, Jeff. And then, gosh, what was it? 3-4 games into the year? Fourth game of the
ninth
year.
inning of the fourth
he
game.
He gets hurt this year. And then the layoff just stretched interminably. It's longer than anybody expected it to. Came back fully healthy, but just didn't look the same right out of it, which isn't surprising.
Yeah, and it's the terrible injury luck he's had. I know some people think he's injury prone. Injury prone's a guy who keeps pulling his hamstring.
Right.
A guy who's not in shape. This is getting hit by a pitch. This is the shoulder thing was from wear and tear from diving for balls, and so I don't buy into that. But I'll say this, it has been a little bit slower than he would have liked, for sure. But these last couple games, really the last more than that, he's gotten some hits. He got the big home run Sunday. Just a little success goes a long way with these guys. The hitting coaches love Josh Young. He's an absolute warrior. He's a guy who tried to do whatever he could to get back. He's a guy who's done all kinds of things with his various injuries to fashion a swing, which then he'll have to work out of his bad habits in the off season. But it's starting to click a little bit. I know his first at bat last night was kind of a weird one because he took 3 heaters down the middle, and
you felt some type of way
1,
about
2,
it?
3. It was just strange. But he had 2 hits the rest of the game. He rebounded, made whatever adjustment he had to make. He loves the game. His dad wasn't a major league player, but he was a high school coach. His brother, as we've talked about, is a major league player now. Baseball's in his veins. There's nothing he'd rather be doing. So you just wish for good health for him, because when he's healthy, even last year as a rookie, you could see what 24 home runs, and he missed 6 weeks of the season with a broken thumb. Comes back, struggles a little bit, gets healthy right in time for the playoffs, bats at the bottom of the lineup in the playoffs, but still hit 300 during the postseason and got some big hits, including in I think it was game 3 or 4 there of the World Series, where he scored on a wild pitch, and that got the Rangers going. I think it was game 4. So anyway, he's going to be fine. In the rest of this season, he needs to finish strong. He needs to just work on getting it right. He's a good defensive player. So we're pro Josh Young. He's going to be a good player for a long time if he can keep avoiding these injuries.
And I think definitely he will. One thing that I learned about him that I really like and respect is that he tapped into like Mamba mentality during his recovery.
Yeah.
I was talking with Rangers trainer, and it's like he wanted some sort of Kobe Bryant either highlights or interviews or whatever while he was recovering. So, this guy's going to work hard. He's an interesting guy. He's pretty philosophical. I think a lot of things hold a lot of weight for him. He loves like man in the arena quote. So I think those are things, that just attest to the level that he cares. And it's more than just a game. We've mentioned he's the hometown kid. Like, he wants to do this for the Texas Rangers. And, I think it also helps, too, like his brother now being in the league. And just to I asked him, I said, do you guys talk every day? Do you talk about baseball? And he's like, oh, my gosh, all day. Every day, it's all that we do. So it really is wake up, eat, sleep, go to bed, baseball. And I think that plays out too. Seager, Young, and Langford were all 2 for 4 last night.
Yeah.
So those are, good company to be in. Langford home run, 9th of the season. So I am excited for Josh Young. I mean, I just can't imagine like a full healthy season.
No, my gosh. I hope. Is it weird that my thumb hurts when we talk about Josh Young? I hate that. It is. I got the sympathy pains over here. But he's a joy to watch, and he's a deep guy. You remember the one year? Well, I think he was still in the minor leagues when he was rehabbing the one year, and he took those cooking classes.
Yeah.
That's funny.
And he just to become basically a chef, right? It's a very sort of widespread Renaissance man type of personality that he has. To your point, he loves baseball. He talks baseball all the time in the family, but there's some depth and some real character. And of course, big Star Wars guy. We got the Josh Young Jedi bobblehead coming.
And like
he
Avengers.
Loves the Avengers, loves Captain America.
Yeah.
All
Captain
the
America
things.
bad during Players Weekend. But to your point about the cooking thing, he did that during one of his rehabs, and he's got such a curious mind that he's got to have something occupying it, or else he's going to go crazy. And when he can't play baseball, but during his foot injury in 22. Or was I 21? They're all running together at this point. Nevertheless, he would put on a VR headset and track pitches. I mean, he's just always trying to come back as ready and as soon as he can. And maybe he pushed it this year. I don't know. Maybe the arm just wasn't quite ready. I mean, it was a complicated surgery. It wasn't just a broken arm. It was like broken, and then it was basically shattered.
Yeah.
There were seven pieces of bone that the doctor had to fix, and it's in such a weird spot. It's like right.
Yeah.
If you've seen the scar, it's like as close as you can get to. You think that would be messing up his range of motion. It's not, but it's just different, and it's unfortunate. When you mentioned Kobe Bryant, when he came back from his surgery, he talked to us. He had found the Kobe Bryant, I think, Instagram posts that after his Achilles had ruptured, and Josh kind of paraphrased that and gathered a lot of strength from that. But again, it goes to the depth of his thinking. There are a lot of layers to peel back on Josh Young.
No doubt. Is it weird that my wrist is hurting now?
All right. Too much, Rads.
Yeah.
Too much.
Okay.
You're just old.
Yeah,
like me.
maybe that's it. Yeah.
One thing to note is Aaron Judge in a little bit. I say it so lightly, in a little bit of a slump. Over the weekend, 1 hit over 12 at bats, and then last night 1 for 5.
Take it.
So I know that he is technically due, but I'm just saying there's a trend.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that trio of power hitters in a minute. We're gonna kind of look at a list of the other trios of power hitters and see how this one ranks up against them, including some great Ranger power hitters. But first, we have to get to the story that I know both of you were on yesterday. And that was Jacob deGrom.
Jacob.
We're getting I say conflicting. This isn't that much of a conflict. Bruce Bochy will say one thing, the player will say the other. The player is always going to err on the side of I want to play, and I want players who want to play. And so right now, Jacob deGrom, right, is saying,
Well, by George, it's been a long time.
yeah, I want to play. I want to
Yeah.
play for the Rangers this Saturday. And Boch is kind of saying, yeah, well, we might just have you go ahead and pitch for Frisco this Saturday.
So we talked to deGrom, eager guy, wants to, all he said is, I want to compete. I mean, through and through, he is an athlete. That's what he wants to do. But yeah, I'm with you. He said one thing. He was saying it's, Jeff, almost a 50-50. He kind of made it seem like...
That's the way he presented it. Like, there are two options. Now, I don't know if it was ever 50-50. You think two options, but he said,
2 options.
if he pitches in the majors, it would be 3 innings. If he were to go to Frisco, it would be 4. Which one would be more beneficial? He wasn't happy with
both on Saturday, by the way.
Wasn't happy with his slider, so could he go to Frisco and work on that? He needed some stressful situations, which he got Sunday in Round Rock because he had to pitch from the stretch. He had to pitch with runners in scoring position. He had to figure out how to compete again. So what's better for him long term? I mean, even if he goes to Frisco and throws 4, he's still not going to throw 5 in his debut. They're going to keep him at 4 probably. I mean, it's just pitching in the major leagues, and I've talked to him about this. He brought this up early in the year when all the elbow injuries were happening. Pitching in the major leagues isn't what it used to be. The number 9 hitter will swing at a 3-0 pitch. You can't just lay one in there anymore, or else there's going to be some damage done to it. He says every pitch is stressful. There's no easy pitch. You're throwing, you're up, you're down in the count 3-1. You're not throwing a heater. You're throwing a slider. You're putting more torque on your arm and more wear and tear on your body, and it's a mental grind too. There's no breathers. So he's very conscious of the way the game has changed. He says the hitters have all the information now. I think the hitters would say the other way, but I wouldn't I don't think he'll be disappointed if they send him to Frisco. I just think that
Bochy made it seem like that was
right.
the call.
And I think Jacob would be 100% on board with that.
Yeah, and that's the other consideration. Of course, there's the player and the player's health, but there is also the team aspect of it. And to Boch's point from last night, one of the reasons that they sent Jack Leiter out there for the 6th inning was the fact that the bullpen is depleted. So you don't want to put unnecessary pressure or stress on the bullpen. So the more, the closer to pitching, 4 innings when he comes back that Jacob deGrom is, the better for the team as well as possibly the better for him.
And to mention, we saw the bullpen last night, Chase Anderson, but we did talk to Jacob Latz, and he did say he's going to return. He didn't really for sure know a timeline, but I like Latz in the bullpen. Offers, another reliable option for the Rangers. So that would have been a good scenario last night. Obviously, he's not out right now, but we did talk to him. Progress there. He does want to return. So there's a little hope in the bullpen too.
And we talked to Tyler Malley, and he doesn't know if he's going to pitch again this year, which isn't the end of the world, I guess. But it's not uncommon for a player coming back from Tommy John to have a shoulder injury. It happened to Yu Darvish in 2016. Missed a month. There's not really a month of the
only
season
a month
here,
left.
and, there's not going to be anywhere for him to go rehab because the minor league seasons will be done. Max Scherzer, did we mention this? Is
Saturday as well.
He threw live batting practice yesterday, and
2 up, 40 pitches.
Looks like he's going to Las Vegas to pitch for Round Rock because DeGrom is in Frisco. Unless, of course, DeGrom ends up starting for the Rangers, then
Scherzer's goal was
could
to
go
pitch
Frisco.
50 pitches.
He wants,
as well.
he wants to throw 50 pitches, and then he thinks he'll just hop right back into the rotation. Maybe he does. It kind of puts the bullpen in a tight spot. It could end up putting kicking Leiter to the bullpen. It may be the end of the road for as a starter this year for Gray and Heaney. If you're getting Scherzer and DeGrom back in the same week, you want to keep looking at Cody Bradford, and he doesn't deserve to go to the bullpen.
No.
If you want to
Agreed.
keep looking at Jack Leiter, okay, and obviously Nathan
Who's
Eovaldi's
left?
not going to the bullpen.
Yeah.
So there will be some decisions, some hand wringing coming up here next week when those decisions need to be made. But I have a feeling they've probably already been made.
Yeah, they probably have. We're going to talk about that power-hitting trio of the Yankees coming up. But speaking of wringing hands, I'm wringing my hands over which merch to buy.
Well, I made a suggestion on our season shirt.
Yeah, you
But
did.
We'll if it happens, I think it should happen.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
we're gonna hold our high hopes. But Jeff already said that he put some shirts in his cart.
I didn't just put them in the cart. I bought them.
Okay,
Outright
are they
bought
on the
'em.
way? What's the ETA?
I think they're due this month. I think they're waiting for. I don't know how this stuff works, but I think you wait for see how large your order is going to be and how much stuff you need to make. And with the launch, hopefully there's a lot of.
So
hopefully
it's
there's
coming
a lot.
soon.
It's
Yeah.
coming soon,
coming
though, and
soon.
I can't wait to start modeling them for everybody.
Oh, that would be
Awesome.
That would
Yeah.
be amazing. We'll have
Yeah.
a runway show with Jeff Wilson. Did you ever think you'd be doing that like a weekend?
Yeah. I really had that one on my.
Yeah, he
card.
always thought he'd be a runway model.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of great shirts. My favorite is the Texas Chew, but you can go to our website, store.allcitynetwork.com, and check them out. Also, we have other locations. So, Jeff, your family's in Denver. We've got Chicago, Phoenix, Philly, Dallas.
Yep.
Is
That's
that
it.
all?
And Denver.
Yeah. So a lot of great stuff there. I've heard they're incredibly comfortable. I personally would really love to see somebody walking around on the street with one of these shirts on.
It's gonna happen.
It'd be my best friend. I'd be
It's
like,
gonna
can we
happen.
please get a photo? You're my
they'll be
hero.
all over. They'll be all over the streets before you know it.
Yes.
As soon as that first big shipment comes in.
Yes. So we've got just launched a SMU shirt. So there are some college teams, but tons of Mavs, Cowboys, Stars, Rangers gear. Not to mention, which you'll get into, but the Die Hard.
Yeah.
I mean, if you sign up, you get a free shirt. So help yourself.
Yeah.
Speaking of Die Hard memberships, look, guys, that's our it's our equivalent, as John has said, to being a P1 or a Tolo.
Yeah.
Become a Die Hard. It's $79.99 a month. You get a free shirt when you sign up. So that's like half the price. You're getting a shirt, and then you're basically signing up for $35. It'll take you through the year. 12 months. You very clearly will have access not just to Rangers coverage, but to all 4 sports.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
All 4 teams. And TCU.
And more coming.
When I start getting the TCU stuff cranked out. And more is on the way. You get discounts to what we call our special events, like a takeover at a ballpark or a watch party. You get discounts on your membership. You get discounts on merch. It's such a great deal. You can go to a legacy media outlet and sign up for 1 year, and they're going to fleece you, and you're not going to get nearly the fan benefits and advantages that you get with being a DLLS diehard. So, look, folks, go do it. Get you a membership today at alldlls.com.
Yep, that's beautiful. It looks like the video signal may be down if you're watching on YouTube
still
or
here.
somewhere right now, but we're here, we're talking, and a lot of you we know are listening on the radio too. So we appreciate you still hanging out. We've got one more segment of the show to go, and we're still talking about the Rangers and the Yankees. And if you are looking at it, it goes back to our very first topic, which was one step forward for Jack Leiter. Jeff concluded, and I agree, it's like 10 or 15 steps forward. It was a big step, let's put it that way. One small step for a pitcher, one giant step for pitcher kind.
There you go.
Or giant, one small step
Help
for
us out in the
Leiter,
chat.
one giant leap for Rangers.
Yeah,
There you go.
Okay,
Neil
there you
Armstrong,
go.
paraphrase.
I
Thank you.
have a little culture to
Oh,
enlighten you guys
yeah.
on. So one of my favorite rappers, artists, is Drake.
Right.
And I don't know if you guys have heard about the beef, but
Oh
it's-
yeah, my son is big
all
time
right,
on
all
the
right.
beef
So
with Kendrick Lamar.
it's a split. Kendrick Lamar and Future and Metro Boomin, all these guys, and then it's Drake, J. Cole, and 21 Savage. So
Okay.
there's a big 3 conversation, and you got to get on your side. Who's the big 3?
Okay.
Well, I'm going with I'm going Kendrick Lamar here because
Oh.
I have some concerns about the pedophilia
Okay,
of Drake. Just saying.
that's
Okay,
inaccurate
that's-
information.
That's
However,
bold.
However-
and if it's true, legitimate.
you did have to pick a side on the big 3.
Have to.
And there's a big 3 in baseball,
Oh, yeah, there are.
if you think about it. And there have historically been big 3s
Yeah.
in baseball.
There- oh, my gosh.
So
Forever.
let's talk about them.
All right, so
Okay.
let's go to the very first one. Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, and Tony Lazzeri from 1926 to 1934. Now, Lazzeri is certainly the unknown of those 3. I don't have to say any more than Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig.
Yeah.
But Lazzeri had in that stretch of time, he had 128 home runs. He had 90 doubles in that stretch of time. I mean, there's a lot to what he brought to the plate. Power-wise, and we're talking about trios of power hitters. I'm not sure there is a better one than that. And you can go all the way back again to Babe Ruth.
Well, I mean, those are Tony Lazzeri is in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
I mean, he at that time in the game, home runs weren't being hit
nearly as much.
Yeah.
nearly
No.
as much. I know Babe Ruth.
Guys also
and,
weren't
and,
6'7",
and Gehrig-
280.
Yeah,
Gehrig started it, and it kind of took off from there because you'd have some big like Hack Wilson had a great home run season in there, and guys like that. But for the era, it was unmatched.
Yeah.
And if you're going era for era, it's really hard to say that.
anybody's better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the game evolved, of course, and
As it does.
integration helped, and the game got better, and But then when I think of the next at least power duo, 1961 with Maris and Mantle. That team had Moose Skowron on it, had Yogi Berra, albeit older. But I don't know if anybody ever thinks of Moose Skowron as being part of the Big 3 or being a member of a Big 3.
And
but
actually, on a list I saw, Berra was a part of that
sure,
trio.
sure.
I mean, he was
Yeah.
their Big 3.
I mean,
Yeah.
Yogi Berra won 3 MVPs. I mean,
Right.
the guy could play.
Yeah.
And and then you can go through the yeah, I don't know if the Braves, they had Eddie Matthews and Hank Aaron, who was their third.
Yeah, their third, I don't know.
And then you go into the 70s, you got the Big Red
Machine, and you're talking about, Joe Morgan, Pete Rose, and Johnny Bench.
George Foster.
Yeah, George Foster
could hit the ball out of the ballpark.
Yeah.
And then honestly, when we get into the, I don't know if we should skip over the 80s, but you get into the
you could go with that McGuire's
Canseco
team,
Terry Steinbach, maybe.
Yeah, in the late 80s.
Dave Henderson.
Yeah.
Then you get into the 90s when the juice was the rage, and maybe I shouldn't say that, and then say
orange juice.
And then say, hey,
yeah.
And then say, hey, look at the Rangers in the late 90s when they had Rafael Palmeiro and Juan Gonzalez and Ivan Rodriguez. I mean, that's a pretty salty right there. And then you can go to the Rockies at the time. They had a 97. They had Larry Walker and Vinny Castilla and Andres Galarraga. I think they all hit more than 40. Jeez. And then they had Ellis Burks, who's from Everman, who hit 32. And Todd Helton joined that team a little bit later, and you can say altitude, whatever you want to say. So yeah, there've been a lot, but right now with Judge and Soto and Stanton missed about a month with a hamstring injury, and he's got 25 home runs. Judge is being Judge, and Soto's so good. He's going to make so much money this offseason. It's just going to blow your mind away. But then, don't discount the Dodgers.
No.
Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman and Shohei Ohtani. That's pretty
Ohtani
good.
brings a new element to that. There's no doubt. The thing about Judge that's amazing, because this isn't the only year that he's sort of been beset by injuries. 10 years in a row. 25 plus. I mean, he's going to get more than 25 now. 10 years in a row to get 25 plus is a monstrous accomplishment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
there's no doubt about it. And I know that, growing up, John, and really, I don't know, probably not that long ago, 500 home runs meant a lot.
It meant a huge amount. Yeah, it did.
It was an automatic.
Yep. Click his
pass
box
to the Hall of Fame, just like 3,000 hits. And players aren't playing that long anymore to get the 3,000 hits. 500 homers, sure, but 3,000 hits isn't a big deal anymore.
I don't think Judge will get there.
But it's there's so many different ways to evaluate players now, but it's still a game that is built on numbers and has so much history with its numbers.
It's great.
3,500 and 300 wins, which. Shit, that may never happen again.
Yeah, and no, I don't think, nor will 7 no-hitters, by the way. And we're referencing Nolan Ryan just in case you didn't know. But and how about the trio, though, that was on that 2011 Rangers team, when you're talking about, any number of different guys. Kinsler was a 30-30 guy. Michael Young still had some pop, but basically you're looking at Adrian Beltre and Nelly Cruz, and then pick from Mike Napoli. Oh, how about Josh Hamilton?
Yeah,
I mean,
and he was kind of, I think he was hurt a little bit in that year, but still was Josh Hamilton.
Yeah, he got hurt early in that
year. And he had the big home run in Game 6 after that. That gave the Rangers a second chance. Josh Hamilton, 200 career home runs. That's it. You would think that this was a guy that was. Well, we can. He could be a whole week.
That's another.
Yeah, we might. That's an off-season topic.
Left.
Yeah.
But
let's see if we can get Josh in here.
Hey, he
might
phone a friend.
He needs a lot of help. With driving. He apparently gets lost a lot.
Okay.
So
we'll send.
But
somebody.
His parents live with him, so if they can, kind of help him out, hey, drive him on over.
Yeah.
But to your point, the 11 team, Ian Kinsler, that was a 30-30 year, 32 home runs. Beltre 32, Hamilton 25, Nelson Cruz 29. So yeah, that team could play. Napoli 30.
30. I thought he did. Yeah.
That
I thought
year,
he did.
who led MLB in home runs?
In 2011?
Was it the Rangers or no?
The team, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I mean, they had.
I think I was in like 5th
Mitch
grade.
Moreland
so.
had 16. Michael Young had 11 that year, but drove in 106.
Yeah.
So there were some guys on base. David Murphy, our buddy, had 11. A lot of offense on that team. But yeah, that was a great.
The big three.
That was a great team.
Yeah. Big three, though. I mean, it's a joy, maybe when they're not playing the Rangers, to watch them. But Abby brought it up earlier. there's a chance that the Rangers can keep, 2 sort of home run milestones, if you will, from happening, right?
Yeah.
As Aaron Judge could go tonight, would be his 8th. Would tonight be his 8th game or his 9th game?
Tonight would match it.
Tonight would match. So
Yeah.
tonight would be his 8th game without a home run. Tomorrow would be his 9th if we can keep him out of the seats. And then Soto has a
anybody could,
home
it's
run
Eovaldi.
in every and Soto has a home run in every ballpark he's played in this year except 2, and that would be Globe Life Field and T-Mobile. So
Well, it is Tony Tuesday.
we got to get
Can
to
I
that.
get to my Tony
Yep,
Tuesday
please.
tweet?
Please.
God said, "Come to me who are burdened and heavy laden. I will give you rest." Jesus, when walking on the water, told Peter to come. I believe God is still saying to us, come, and through the step of faith, he will make and bring you deliverance. Win your day, Tony Tuesday.
That's great. Tony is inspirational to us, hopefully to you, and absolutely to everybody in the Rangers organization.
And
so
baseball.
it's it really
Everyone
in all
loves
of
them.
baseball. It's a great follow. Tony Beasley, Tony Tuesdays. We try to hit one every Tuesday because he'll do them all during the off season as well. So it's the Rangers against the Yankees again tonight. It's game 2 of this 3-game series. The Rangers still have a chance to win the series and make it 3 series in a row in which they were winners of the series. We'll be back tomorrow with the pregame edition of our podcast. That'll come your way at 6:30, and then right after the game, flip it on over to
Post-game,
DLLS
breaking it all
Rangers
down.
because we are going to be breaking it down. Jeff will be there. Abby and I will be here, and we will be looking for you to be right here too and let us know what you think. Like us, subscribe us, and we will see you tomorrow.
We all silly like the mayor.